I used to love having a messy room. I called it controlled chaos. I would have everything strewn about everywhere, but I knew where everything was at the end of the day. From an outsider's perspective, it would look like nonsense, but to me, it made perfect sense. And I used to function under that premise for quite a while, where if I was under a constant stream of chaos, I actually thought more clearly. Whenever I was in high school, I would listen to music while reading a book and listening to the teacher all at the same time, and I still absorbed the information. I had to have multiple streams of information coming into me at once in order to focus in on the one thing that I actually needed to focus on, in this case being the teacher. And I operated like this for the first 19, 20 years of my life. I would just consistently try to overload my brain with information. And I can't do that anymore, really. And the reason why is because my mindset has shifted over the past 2 to 3 years. I was trying to distract myself a lot in my early years. I was going through a lot of trauma that I wasn't able to effectively process. I just had something wrong with me. And because I couldn't process this information, it stuck with me and it wouldn't go away. Whenever I would have really negative experiences, they didn't just fall away, they stayed with me for indefinitely. So I would consistently distract myself with information in order to not have to dwell on these facts. I would always be listening to a podcast or music. I would never allow myself to be in any kind of form of silence because I was afraid of being alone with my thoughts. Because since I couldn't process all of the trauma, I had to consistently relive it any time that I was left alone to my own devices. So whenever I was focusing on, the chaos around me, like having a messy room as an example, it made it easier to not dwell on my thoughts. And that was just a small example. And now I'm actually kind of the opposite. I like having a cleaner space. If I'm realizing that I'm struggling to focus on something productive, I'll start cleaning. One, it relaxes me, but two, having the cleaner space helps me think more clearly. I'm now of the mindset now where I need less clutter in order to be able to focus more. And part of that's because I can process emotions again. Over the past, especially 2 years, I've been getting a lot better with looking at things that I've done in the past, forgiving myself for them, and acknowledging that a lot of the things that happened to me happened and trying to move on from that and allowing it to fall away from my greater consciousness. And it's been really healthy. So nowadays, it seems like chaos is actually the evil in my life instead of the savior. And it's an interesting dynamic shift because, I could have gone my entire life with the coping mechanisms that I had and probably been mostly fine, but now I have to switch how I live my life and how I deal with things because I became a healthier person. And it's really encouraging to see that my growth has gone to the point where I actually have to change habits now because what worked for me in the past is actually hurting me now. So I get to actually develop real healthy habits instead of worrying about how long I can maintain the balance of coping before something falls apart. I hope this message speaks to some of you in the same way that it would have spoken to my younger self. I try to make some of these videos in a way that my younger self would have been able to understand better and hopefully have to relate it to. And I want to be that same thing to you guys watching these videos today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, I would encourage you to subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later if you don't end up liking my content. Do not forget to keep it casual.